She seems perfect, charming, intelligent, deeply empathetic. She listens, offers thoughtful advice, and makes you feel uniquely understood. Everyone loves her. 6 months later, you're sitting in your car, afraid to go inside your own apartment. You question your memory, judgment, and sanity. You feel constant guilt for unremembered wrongs, exhausted from walking on unseen emotional landmines. You've become a stranger to yourself. You've encountered the psychological shadow, unconscious darkness carried like an invisible virus, infecting others with unresolved toxicity. These women aren't obviously dangerous. They destroy men through subtle psychological manipulation that turns your own mind against you. The most dangerous predators are those you invite in thinking they're saving you. They systematically transfer their psychological problems into your mind under the guise of intimacy. You start carrying her anxiety, absorbing her depression, and managing her triggers. Her inner chaos becomes your reality. You become complicit, believing you're supportive while enabling her to avoid self-healing. They operate through projection, dumping their unacknowledged qualities onto you. You're never relating to the real you, but to her distorted perception. When she calls you selfish, she's projecting her own selfishness. This matrix erodes your sense of self, as defending yourself becomes proof of the flaws she accuses you of. The victim predator presents as fragile to trigger your protective instincts, weaponizing past trauma to avoid accountability. Criticism becomes persecution, boundaries become abandonment. Gradually, the victim becomes the prosecutor, and the rescuer becomes the perpetrator. The emotional parasite feeds on your psychological energy. She presents as needing salvation, triggering your rescuer complex. You invest energy trying to heal someone with no intention of getting better, as her real addiction is to the power dynamic of being given to. The mask controller maintains a perfect public image, but is controlling and critical in private. This duality makes you question your reality. Her public persona becomes a weapon against you, isolating you as no one else sees her private behavior. The chaos generator can't tolerate calm. She manufactures crises and drama to manage her internal instability, keeping you in constant emergency mode. This serves as a defense against genuine vulnerability, replacing true intimacy with intensity. The boundary violator operates on the idea that love means unlimited access. She systematically erodes your boundaries, making you feel guilty for having them. Your need for space becomes rejection. Your privacy becomes deception. The gaslighter systematically undermines your perception of reality. She denies events, rewrites history, and uses selective memory to make you dependent on her version of reality. She positions this distortion as caring for your well-being. The emotional terrorist uses your investment as leverage, threatening emotional destruction for non-compliance. She makes you responsible for her emotional state, creating a relationship where you manage her feelings instead of expressing your own. The identity thief gradually replaces your authentic self with a version that serves her needs. She discourages your interests and friendships, shaping your personality through selective reinforcement until you lose yourself. The recovery prevention agent sabotages your growth and healing because your improvement threatens her control. She undermines therapy and self-improvement, often framing it as an attack on the relationship. Early warnings include rapid intimacy acceleration, isolation from your support system, and subtle reality negotiation. Their emotional reactions don't match the situation, revealing internal chaos. Psychological toxicity spreads through emotional contagion. You sync with her rhythms, internalize her emotional vocabulary, and eventually can't distinguish her influence from your own self. This feels like deep connection, but is actually psychological colonization. They create trauma bonds through cycles of intense stress and relief, creating an addictive pattern that feels like love but is actually psychological dependency. They use social proof as a weapon, curating a circle that validates her narrative and isolates you further. They create financial entanglements that make leaving economically difficult. When you try to heal, they sabotage your recovery, reframing your efforts as attacks and creating crises to interrupt your progress. The fundamental truth is they use your own positive qualities, your empathy, desire to help, and capacity for love against you. They are often psychologically unconscious, operating from unhealed wounds. Protection requires recognizing these patterns quickly, trusting your instincts when a relationship feels draining, and maintaining boundaries. You cannot heal someone who doesn't want to be healed. Healthy partners take responsibility for their own psychological health. They enhance your life, support your growth, and contribute to the relationship rather than consuming you. True care builds you up. It doesn't break you down from the inside.